Yeah, thank you, moderator. And I want to appreciate our listeners this evening. Uh, Personally, as Daniel Delebata TB, I want to stand still in solidarity with the various schools that went on strike. And I know the kind of destruction they've done has been massive because personally I've been able to move to some of these schools and to engage with the administration and engage with the students. And we are doing all possible ways to see how best these issues can be dealt with. And I really want to condemn the attitude of our young people in terms of the destruction they've done. And I also want to say this. I think it is time for us to uh, challenge each one of us. This is not now blame game because things have happened and we can't undo them. But I think my call today is to the administration. I think we need to work on our attitude and our management skills so that we are able to check some of these things. Because when you look at some of the causes, really, you look at some of these causes the students are raising, some of their concerns are really petty issues, which I believe if the management and the administration could have a listening ear, like my colleague has said here, if we can have listening ears to listen to the views of the students and the staff when there is concern, so that we are able to look into some of these issues. Also, I think where we've reached, we need to prepare our staff well enough to deal with these students. Moderator, you need to appreciate that in the 2 years of lockdown, these students who came back didn't come back the same. Many of them came back as mothers. Some of them came back as fathers. There are those who came as drug addicts. There are those who came from the streets. Some of them were doing all kinds of businesses, and all of these kind of group of people have all come back. So I think there is a need for us to see how best can we handle these people. That's why my call is that I think we need thorough psychosocial support to be offered to these people. And also, we need to appreciate that some of these students have been traumatized, and even the staff themselves in the 2 years of lockdown. Many of these people have gone through experiences which are really very traumatizing. And because of the trauma that has not been dealt with and they have not been helped to deal with, things are now happening the way they're happening because most of these boys and girls are just now trying to act out or they're trying to act in. When trauma is not a sickness, but it can lead into sickness. You know, and when a traumatized person is not helped, then hurt people will hurt others. And when we ignore these people, the result is what we are seeing now. When these guys act out, then we are seeing the criminal behaviors, we are seeing the violent acts, we are seeing the aggression, we are seeing the violence, we are seeing all these kind of things at school level. And now time has come for us, I think, to ask the hard questions. You know, when you look at some of these strikes, they have become recurrent. Every almost every year or after every 2 years, there are strikes. Now you ask yourself, but what are the underlying issues? I think it is time for us to check deep down and know what is really happening. Moderator, the other thing that has challenged me is all some of the schools I've visited and all these schools that went on strike in West Nile, the 35 schools. One thing that has been striking me so hard is all of these schools, at least they have a religious background. Some of these are Muslim founded schools. Some of these are Catholic founded schools. Some of these are Anglican founded schools. Some of these schools are Christian schools. Now you're asking yourself, if students can do what they've done and destroy things the way they've destroyed and act the way they've acted, the question that I'm asking myself is, how relevant is religion to our young people? How relevant is it? Do we still have people? Do we still have the fear? You know, oh, could it be that there are some other things that are taking up the mind of our children and the interest of our young people away from God? Because if somebody has the fear of God in them, they will not be in the position to do the kind of destruction they have done, malicious damage. And then others were saying, hey, if you're not joining us, we shall all pay the fines. So you either join us so that we all pay the fine. Somebody who has come with that ill motive, that evil mind. Where is this thing coming from? Yet these are Christian schools, these are Muslim schools, these are, Catholic schools, and their morals that are supposed to be in those schools that we actually, they are things that we expect of such schools, but it is instead the opposite. Now the question I am asking: how relevant? Because when you go to any of these schools that have gone on strike and have had the worst damages, when you enter that school, you will find a mosque, you will find a chapel, you will find a church. And if those three are not there, there are some rooms that are designed for that purpose. How relevant is it right now? I think it is even time for us to ask ourselves on all fronts. Number two, is the traditional norms and the practices in the West Nile communities impactful in the lives of our young people? Because you can believe with me, those days, any Lugbara will be known by some traits. Ekakwa will be known for some traits, and Aluru will be known for some traits. And people used to know that people of West Nile are A, B, C, D. Right now, is it still the same? What happened? What went wrong? I think it's time for us even to check ourselves. Much as we may not have now the elderly around, but can't we still go back to our traditional, normal belief system? Because some of these issues, really, they're evil. I've never seen our forefathers tell us stories like those. But now we are having these issues. So the question is, are our practices, are our traditional norms still valid? Can they still bring out real good values and morals? Because now what we are seeing is we are seeing the moral decay and its impact. Number three, I'm asking this question not because I want to side with anybody, but I'm asking this question just for the purpose of understanding something here. I know in all these schools, we've sent away people who we say are the ringleaders, right? Now I'm asking myself, they're sending away the said bad boys and the girls help in transforming their lives. Doesn't it mean that when you are sending away this child is feeling is already been expelled, is rejected in the society, in that society, and what has been done for this person? Because and then also, one time I was almost caught up in a strike as well. I think I've ever shared that story with you. And there are times when, if the approach used to identify the ringleaders will be, in most schools they will say you write the names of people you saw or you know are involved. Now, if I have a personal grudge with a student, that student will take that opportunity to write by them, even if I'm not there. And that has been in some schools. But even still, there are those who have been there, ringleaders, yes. But what has caused? Has there been time to hear from the said bad boys and girls why they acted the way they did? Because sometimes we can quickly become reactional instead of responding to why certain things are happening. And I think it's time for us to be able to look beyond the damage and then also look at what has happened. How can it be helped? These people, the way they acted, what really incited it? What is the problem? The other thing I want to say is, on a sad note, some teachers are behind some of these strikes. Now, if teachers go to the extent of beginning to incite students, maybe they begin to give them the support, encouraging them, why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? Why can't you do this? Because I'm talking from a place of experience. I've been in the classroom for some time, and I've been in addition also for some time, and I know how how some teachers went and began to mobilize students to rise up against me because they didn't like me as an administrator. But thank God, in that period, it that strike was actually aborted because some of the students were wise. They're like, no, 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 it can't be our master who can do ABC because we know him. So sometimes even teachers are behind some of these strikes. Now, what has been done for these teachers? I'm asking myself, for some schools that we know here in West Nile, there are so many strikes that have happened. And many of these notorious boys have always been expelled. Why hasn't the strikes stopped? Some of these issues some of these questions we need to ask them. So that if all these issues are handled, then we can be able to see healing, we shall be able to see change. We need to see change. So how do we see this? One thing I want to propose, even as I finish, is number one, like my colleague had said, Let's create time with our children at parental level so that we can instill the values we want. The other problem also I have in West Nile is this. You have so many polygamous backgrounds. You have a man with the children, sends away the children and the mother, and these children are staying away from the father. And then at the end of the day, he may still be paying fees at a distance, but there is no contact. There is no, you don't have time with your children. Now, really, if you value your children, I want to call all parents. If you value your children, please bring your children at whatever tender age, because, by the way, the only period in child development is between the ages of 3 to 14. Beyond that, you cannot change a child's attitude. You can't change a child's mind.
Yes, Mr. Dr. I want to appreciate you for whatever information you're giving us. It's really very important. And we are left with 18 minutes to end the program. And I believe the listener would like to participate in the talk show as well. Well, our phone line, let me open the phone line for the listener to be part of this program on 0393273232. The time is right.
Uh, inira asisle mane jo strike for jeso de ijo de bidi baworo. Ijo de matoto manji zanvide typique of Madrid de akudri lesede. Misu ijo anzine de ye ni odisi parents ki de bane typique aro amadi mu afat ke ofe amadi mu ijo no ke ofe afanjine zadi ke mamu ke ofe te ijo te de maninga ebi ala nyado are azita dista azike de akente de alo school ipi mali adria so afast na de so tidike ebi ka adria school mu ke de te ijo ala na de alo school de bi ka adri dini ma palia school de maziki islam pi ma palia school aziki pros ma palia school de maziki afa catholic ma palia tezita de man dizerde e yo dini vode bi anjidi kiraya dini mauro dringa anjidi ne riachia kane ejo de dria ya skune ejo ango di malia dria school malia dria ejo dini vurkite de chi te dini malia anjiki yo adi yone iri este de ba waranda mafu de kirkanta mana dikinze iki mana achi bane achi yoria ba ijo kinze sats ijo ler yake ko ijo lerin ye ko aduse ifina mata tipika rode lenga vina afesa wanjini ijo ki nzezo anjini askuda anja mafu de kisa akina mapie ko anjiki ay madropia anjiki zo imadropia anjiki zo bandundu pie adiza anjini surki denta dandundu ijo de denvi bane dria madria de ode dizanere invite dria madria ijo asa de banza de arda akinta de school di ma ali adria mva dronze la lere ki beki drote ijo bana anze ki dozo tere irudu oro de ria anze dinia mante mane gare sira bate bana anze ki ku ya kane bate mazako ijo ini bi jonzi disi ijo ini bi jonzi di typical ro amate bana imadribi amabani jo ijo men ya donzi kan ba makoyor maza dinere ba de bana real metu alu ba mesu kansla ki ba ma nda yanze dini ba ma repetu alu ijo azre devini ode ijo azre diki imbaba kivini kifeni imbaba azre ki iki yo nziada iki anti mabioso iki and yonzine o aleni dikira diane ko ekajite yedini moke ekata yedini iki balanji ki mabioso ni askuni just first time test diarde akini anji ki be biki o draw school as malia palace test strike de ikwadusi ni rejo di maziki bane ejo iki bane fu imbaba pivo awade mate mana imbaba ro ama awade kirkir ba makoba maza ba mangazi asiandusi ba mangazi kichitasi dikira pietu alo aya ejo se de man barde awade asizudi lenga ba mafesa anjidini le ba mafesa manjidini typical divine anji bante de droba de ki le ba ma iki akua divine ani tsara amasini susu ijo ine ya de kisi tekiri ba ma triki ikinga kira manjiki ba ma leki kane ba ma da ine girka kilili ine chozu muzure dini aya ijo de man yo sizuru de awade. I want to now come back to English now to just give my closing remark that please help is available. Reach out. All these schools, we need psychosocial support. We are available. Please reach out for help. We can be able to help you. Thank you.